3 weeks ago, I got a call from a bank in a town I've never heard of. They said I just applied for a mortgage. In person. They had my ID, my signature, my voice on security footage. But I've never been to that town. And when I looked it up on a map, it didn't exist. Not online, not in state records, not even on satellite view. That should have been the end of it. But then my phone started ringing at night, and someone with my voice whispered, "You need to stop asking questions. You're ruining things." It started with a letter, a plain white envelope, no return address, mailed to my apartment. Inside, a printed page, one sentence. "You left something behind. Come back to finish it." No name, no signature. The only clue was the postmark, Graybridge. And why? But when I searched it online, I found nothing. No town with that name in New York. No mentions, no photos. It simply didn't exist, or it wasn't supposed to. I called the number on the letter. It rang once, then went dead. That night, I got an email from a private investigator I'd never contacted. The subject line said, "You've already been here." Attached was a video file. It showed me, same face, clothes, voice, walking down a small town street, waving at strangers like I'd lived there forever. Then the camera followed me into a coffee shop. I ordered black coffee and laughed with the barista. She said, "See you tomorrow, Daniel." My name isn't Daniel. I checked my bank account. There were new charges. All small, all local to Graybridge. Coffee shops, gas stations, a hardware store. Then a hospital. I called the hospital listed, asked if I'd been a patient there. The receptionist paused, then said, "Yes, you're listed as released 2 days ago." I asked for the diagnosis. "No physical injuries, just temporary confusion. You said you didn't remember who you were. Until you did." I hung up. My hands were shaking. I drove 4 hours north based on the coordinates tied to one of the charges. No signs for Graybridge on the highway. No billboards, no exits. Until I saw a dirt road, unmarked, cutting through dense forest. I followed it. Eventually, it opened into a town square. Tiny, dusty, faded buildings. Felt like a postcard from the 1950s. And then I saw it. A gas station, with a receipt pinned to the bulletin board inside. My name, my card number, dated last week. I asked the man behind the counter, "Do you know me?" He looked up, blinked, then said, "Sure, you're the guy who keeps coming back." My heart stopped. "Do you know where I live?" He laughed. "You kidding? Everyone in town knows Daniel." I didn't answer. I just stepped outside and checked my reflection in the window. Same face. But I didn't feel like Daniel, and I definitely wasn't home. I followed vague directions until I reached a small white house with green shutters. A mailbox at the edge of the driveway said, "D. Holloway." No key, no alarm. The door was unlocked. Inside, pictures on the walls, birthday cards on the fridge, bills stacked on the counter, all addressed to Daniel Holloway. My birthday, my handwriting, my signature. But I never wrote them, not consciously. In the bedroom, I found a journal, page after page in my handwriting, except I didn't remember writing any of it. The first entry said, "They said I could build something new here, start fresh. Just one rule, don't return to your old life, or it'll fall apart." Another entry. I remember waking up by the river, cold, confused, but the voice was there, guiding me. Told me I belonged here now. And then, if you're reading this, you're not supposed to be. I walked to the diner. Everyone looked up when I entered, smiled, nodded. One old woman said, "Didn't expect to see you back so soon, Daniel." I said, "I'm not Daniel." They laughed, but their eyes didn't. I asked the waitress when I started coming here. She said, "Right after the accident. You were reborn here, remember?" I didn't. I never had an accident. Did I? I went back to the house, stared into the bathroom mirror for a long time, waiting for something to change. Then it did. My reflection smiled. I didn't. It leaned in close and whispered without sound, "Why'd you come back?" Then it blinked and looked normal again, like it was daring me to pretend it didn't happen. That night, I fell asleep on the couch. At 3:07 a.m., I woke up to a voice at the window. It was mine. I left for a reason. You shouldn't have come. You're ruining everything. I looked out. Nothing there. Then the voice again, this time from behind me. You think you're the original, but you're just the echo. We can't both exist. I ran, but no matter how far I drove, I still ended up back on that same dirt road, leading into Graybridge. I found him, or he found me, in the middle of the road, just standing there, under a flickering streetlight. Same height, same eyes, same scar above the left eyebrow. He smiled like he'd been waiting. Now you see it, right? He said. The overlap, the bleed. You left something open when you tried to forget. I asked who he was. He said simply, you, just more willing. Then he stepped aside and said, you can have it back, but you won't like the price. That night, I followed him to the house, our house. Inside, he opened a wooden box. Inside were two items, my old driver's license, a photo of me standing in front of the town's sign. But the sign looked wrong, blurry, like it was melting at the edges. He pushed the box toward me and said, you either burn this and become me, or run and forget all of this, forever. I didn't understand. He didn't explain. He just waited. I went to the sheriff's office, tried to report an impersonator. The man behind the desk tilted his head and said, Daniel, we've known you your whole life. I shouted, I'm not him, But when I pulled out my wallet, my ID now read, Daniel Holloway, different photo, but still my face. He handed it back calmly. You're home now, just relax. You'll remember soon enough. I left in silence. I started noticing the clocks. They never moved, all frozen at 3:07, same as the voice at the window. Every watch, every wall clock, every oven timer, stuck. One night, I stayed up, just watching. At exactly 3:07 a.m., everything shifted. The lights dimmed, the streets emptied, and I saw them. Copies of people stepping out from behind houses, walking in patterns, practicing smiles, repeating lines like rehearsals. The whole town was a stage, and I was a new actor in the script. I dug behind the shed. I don't know why, something pulled me there. I found a door buried in the dirt, old, rusted, chained shut. I broke it open and climbed down into a cellar. Walls lined with photographs of me, doing things I don't remember, wearing clothes I've never owned. And in the center, a mannequin, wearing my face like a mask. I didn't scream, because it started breathing. I wasn't alone. She showed up one evening, sitting on my porch like she belonged. Eva, she said, I was you once. I asked what she meant. I came to this town 4 years ago. Thought I was chasing a mistake. Turned out, I was the mistake. They don't take your body, just your story. Then they rewrite you. I asked how to leave. She looked sad. Leave? Why do you think there's a second you here, so you can't? I returned to the journal I found earlier. There were new pages now. Pages I didn't write. Entries like, he's adapting, memories sinking. Echo subject experiencing resistance. Will collapse soon. If reading this, stage 4 has begun. Prepare for replacement. I flipped to the last page. In fresh ink. You are not the reader, you are the character. Stop flipping pages. The house burned. I didn't light it. I didn't even have matches. But I watched it crumble. No one called the fire department. The townspeople just stood in a perfect circle around the flames, smiling. And in the light, I saw something sickening. Each of them wore faces, but none of them had eyes. Just empty sockets, hollow, like masks over something much older underneath. My memory started to, little things at first. Then my own name slipped away. I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize my voice. The face looked right, but it didn't blink when I did. Eva was gone. So was the gas station. So was the town square. Everything blurred, like a dream dissolving, like I was being erased, piece by piece. And I remembered what he said. We can't both exist. I am Daniel Holloway. Or I was. Or maybe I never was. Maybe I chased something that wasn't mine. Walked into a life that had already replaced me. I don't remember my old apartment, or my job, or my parents' names. All I remember is Graybridge. And now that I've remembered that, I'll never leave. If you're reading this, you've heard the name. Maybe it came in a dream. Maybe someone mentioned it once and you got curious. Graybridge. Don't try to find it. Because the moment you do, the moment you believe it exists, it knows your name, and it's already building a life for you. One that you won't be able to escape.